life. I heard that you recently did a successful stint in rehab?
Yeah, one of two, yes.
One of two.
My second time, yeah.
Your second time.
Yeah.
When was your first time? That long
It's been a
ago.
while. I knew who Stevie was, but after a lot of convincing, he really made me think that he was serious. I guess he really just don't know how to be serious.
How do you describe it?
What, my power?
Yeah.
I think it's indescribable. And the bedroom, that's not where you're gonna find it, because my magic doesn't lie between my thighs, it lies between my ears.
25 of Black R&B's biggest names have been labeled addicts by the tabloids, the courts, or the artists themselves. From Keyshia Cole, whose romantic chaos has played out across 3 decades of reality television.
Is that maybe I should do a dating show?
Yes.
Because how am I gonna meet new people that aren't in this industry?
Well, you don't, okay, let me ask you, is a guy in this industry out the question?
It's seeming like it is. I'm getting a little tired of the same thing.
To Fantasia Barrino, the American Idol winner who overdosed during the affair with a married man that nearly destroyed her.
I wanted to get away. I wanted sleep. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. Like, all I was doing was crying because I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do for my kid? What am I gonna do for my daughter?
The truth about what these women live through behind their music is heavier than any fan of the genre ever knew. So let's get into it. Keyshia Cole's whole life has played out publicly since her BET reality show launched in 2006.
A lot of lifelong lessons that we had to see, well, I had to experience as well, to know, how to get over, how to love somebody in those predicaments.
She was engaged to young Jeezy in her earliest years. She married and divorced Cleveland Cavalier Daniel "Boobie" Gibson.
Our marriage was over a long time ago. Gib and I have made an agreement that we have joint custody. Now it's just about finalizing.
She had a public relationship with Birdman around 2019. She had a son with rapper Nico Calais in 2022. She's also been in an on-again, off-again relationship with rapper Huncho, who is 9 years younger than her. Cole has been open about how her rough foster care childhood and her family's addiction struggles shaped how quickly she attaches to men. She said in interviews she cannot stay single.
Maybe I should do a dating show?
Yes.
Because how am I gonna meet new people that aren't in this industry?
Well, you don't, okay, let me ask you, is a guy in this industry out the question?
It's seeming like it is. I'm getting a little tired of the same.
The tabloid S3x Addict label attaches to her. She has never claimed it herself.
I mean, I kind of feel like Build-A-Bear. You build a up, you get punched by him, and then the motherfucker go, you know what I'm saying? And you build him up, he's a better person.
K. Michelle publicly accused her former fiancé, Memphis Wright, of physical on the first season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta in 2012.
I remember even speaking to his own mother, and she told me to not date him because he had some demons.
Memphis sued her for defamation. The case dragged on for years. She has spoken openly since about how the and the industry's response to it shaped her romantic patterns for years afterward. She has had public relationships with rappers and athletes and has been candid about the cosmetic procedures she had to reverse after nearly dying from black market silicone injections. She's 42, still recording, and has one son. Fantasia Barrino won American Idol at 19 in 2004. In the late 2000s, she began an affair with Antoine Cook, a T-Mobile sales employee who was married. His wife sued Fantasia in North Carolina. The story ran on the tabloids for a year. On August 9, 2010, she overdosed on aspirin and a sleeping pill in Charlotte. Police classified it as a suicide attempt. On VH1's Behind the Music later that same month, she said flatly that she had wanted to die.
I wanted to get away. I wanted sleep. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't eating. Like, all I was doing was crying because I'm like, yo, what am I gonna do for my kid? What am I gonna do for my daughter?
She married North Carolina businessman Kendall Taylor in 2015 and is still with him. He re-proposed to her on stage in Houston with an 11-carat diamond on Valentine's Day 2026. Chaka Khan has been married 3 times. Her second husband, Richard Holland, was the father of her son, Damien. She has confirmed publicly that in 1976, while 8 months pregnant with Damien, Holland punched her in the face and she grabbed a shotgun and fired at him. She missed. She called the police and lied that an intruder had done it. She's also been open about her decades of substance and how it intersected with the chaos of her relationships. She's been clean since the middle of 2013.
I heard that you recently did a successful stint in rehab?
Yeah, one of 2. Yes,
One of 2.
My second time. Yeah.
Your second time.
Yeah.
When was your first time? That long
It's been
ago.
a while.
She entered rehab with her sister after Prince's fentanyl death in 2016, since she was addicted to the same class of prescription opioids that killed him.
Unbreak my heart.
Toni Braxton married keyboardist Carrie Lewis in 2001, had 2 sons with him, and divorced in 2013. Her long public relationship with Cash Money founder Birdman began around 2016. They got engaged, broke up, got back together, and broke up again.
We are not married. I promise you. If I was married, I would, well, maybe I wouldn't be so explosive about it, but I wouldn't deny it.
But we would know.
I wouldn't say I'm not married if someone asked me.
Braxton has spoken openly about how the chaos of her career finances and her stage 4 lupus battle bled into her romantic life. Her 2013 album, Love and War, and her 2018 album, and Cigarettes, were both built out of that turbulence. She's the second oldest of 6 Braxton sisters and starred in the reality show that cataloged nearly a decade of the family's public drama.
And I can't be without you, baby.
Mary J. Blige spent the early 1990s in a volatile, physically ugly relationship with Jodeci's Keyshia Cole. She married her manager Kendu Isaacs in 2003 and stayed married for 13 years. She filed for divorce in July 2016.
I should definitely love myself more than everybody else does. I'm in the process of helping myself.
Her court filings alleged Isaacs had multiple girlfriends during the marriage and had spent over $420,000 of her money on one of them. Her 2017 album, Strength of a Woman, was written from inside that divorce. Every song on it. She's 55 and still touring. She has said in interviews since the divorce that she was financially and emotionally exploited by Isaacs from the first day of the marriage and did not see it clearly until she saw the receipts.
I should never doubt my intuition, my instinct. I should definitely love myself more than everybody else does.
Erykah Badu has 3 children by 3 different men. Outkast's Andre 3000, the rapper The DOC, rapper Jay Electronica. Her separate long-term connection with Common was public and put in the music. She said in interviews across her career that heartbreak is what fuels her writing.
Well, most guys say that my smells like strawberries and gunpowder.
Man, sounds like a nice place in the Wild Wild West.
So I tried to duplicate that, you know. I don't know. That's what they say. I don't know.
She said, "Eat that."
I don't know where they're getting the strawberries from, but yeah, that's what they say. So I try to duplicate the smell of strawberries and gunpowder, and I hope that I'm doing that.
The addict label the tabloids have periodically attached to her has never come from her own mouth. She's 55, still touring, and still one of the most quietly influential neo-soul artists alive. Her long collaboration with Common on the 1990s and 2000s remains one of the most publicly documented creative partnerships of her career. Missy Elliott has spent her entire career fiercely protecting her private life.
Is it worth it? Let me work it. I put my thing down, flip it and reverse it.
She has never publicly discussed a romantic partner. The gossip pages have tried repeatedly to attach speculation about her and her relationships to her, and she has never engaged with any of it.
Women in hip hop is crazy because, you know, women, they get mad when guys call them all these different kind of names, but then you may turn to BET Uncut at night and, you know, you see the women bent over in a little thong and booty shaking and you're like, okay.
What is documented is her 40-year creative partnership with Timbaland. What isn't documented is anything else. In 2023, she became the first female hip-hop artist ever inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. She has spent her entire fame refusing to explain herself to anyone.
People think they know me and they don't. Like, I'm still not the box you think I'm in. Like, whatever you think, you're wrong.
Queen Latifah publicly named her partner Ebony Nichols and thanked her son Rebel in her 2021 BET Lifetime Achievement Award speech. That was the first time she had spoken publicly about her relationship after decades of pointed silence. Before that, she had been linked in tabloid coverage to trainer Jeanette Jenkins and to singer Manifa, though she never confirmed either. The Addict label is not one Latifah has ever accepted. She spent her career refusing to answer questions about her personal life and has kept refusing them since. She's 55 and has continued to work steadily in film, television, and music production. Faith Evans married the notorious B.I.G. in August 1994, 9 days after they met. She had a son with him. During their separation in 1996, she was widely rumored to have had a brief connection with Tupac Shakur, which she has denied for 30 years. She married music executive Todd Russaw in 1998 and divorced him in 2011. She married Stevie J in a Vegas ceremony in July 2018.
I knew who Stevie was, but after a lot of convincing, he really made me think that he was serious. I guess he really just don't know how to be serious.
He filed for divorce in 2021 and again in 2022.
I don't believe I was making sure that she was loved the way she wanted to be loved and cared for.
The marriage remains publicly unresolved. She's 52, and her post-2018 career has been publicly overshadowed by the relationship in ways her earlier work never was.
Killing me softly with his song, killing me softly.
Lauryn Hill's relationship with Rohan Marley began in the 1990s and produced 5 of her 6 children. She had a documented affair with her Fugees bandmate, Wyclef Jean, during that same period, which Jean himself confirmed in his 2012 memoir, Purpose.
Fully looking back then, you know, like now as a man and looking back, definitely, you know, take blame in the sense of having fell for Lauryn at the time.
The affair was one of the reasons the group collapsed. Hill has spent the years since largely out of the tabloid press and focused on raising her children. Her son Zion is now recording under his own name. Her 1998 album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill, remains the best-selling debut album by a female rap artist in history.
If you need me, call me, no matter where you are.
Tammy Terrell's duets with Marvin Gaye at Motown were some of the most beautiful in soul music. What she survived before those duets was violent. She dated James Brown briefly and told her sister he beat her badly enough that she left him.
When he finished his show, he marched right off the stage and he started beating her. And he beat her down to the basement, down to his room.
She then dated David Ruffin of The Temptations, who never told her he was already married.
He was bigger than life at that point. He basically swept her off her feet.
She was absolutely crazy, madly in love with David Ruffin.
Ruffin's of her was documented. Terrell was diagnosed with a brain tumor in 1967 and collapsed on stage while singing with Marvin Gaye.
And it just collapsed in Marvin's arm because he was singing with holding her. And I guess this one particular time, the pain was so unbearable that she just blacked out.
She died in March 1970 at 24, 3 years after that onstage collapse. Marvin Gaye never fully recovered from her death and largely stopped touring for years. Her love life was defined by the men who was married at least 7 times before her death at 39. Her husbands included Walter Buchanan, saxophonist Eddie Chambly, and actor Rafael Campos. She toured constantly and had documented affairs between the marriages. Her contemporaries wrote later that she filled a bottomless loneliness with men and with alcohol. She died in December 1963 of an accidental overdose after mixing prescription diet pills with alcohol. The Queen of the Blues spent most of her adult life either in a marriage or exiting one. She had 2 sons from earlier relationships. None of the 7 husbands ever lasted long.
Oh, I would rather be a blind girl, babe.
Etta James spent her career battling heroin, crack, and later prescription drug addictions that ran alongside a chaotic personal life. She had 2 sons with different fathers, one during her marriage to Artis Mills, who spent 10 years in prison for a drug charge that was actually hers. James has been open in her memoirs about affairs during her marriages and about using the same way she used as a way to prove she still had control over a life that was mostly out of her control.
Etta, you've had a roller coaster of a life. And I mean, you can take that like, a couple of ways. I could take that and say, yeah, but if I didn't have a roller coaster, how would I know? How would I be able to sing about the thing?
She died in January 2012 of leukemia at 73, 2 weeks before her old friend Whitney Houston was found dead at the Beverly Hilton. Beyoncé performed at last at Barack Obama's first inaugural ball 2 years before her death, and James was not invited. Tina Turner spent 17 years married to Ike Turner, who physically abused her from almost the first day.
He was cruel because he depended on me. He didn't like that he had to depend on me.
She walked out of a Dallas hotel with 36 cents in her pocket in 1976. Her second marriage to German record executive Erwin Bach in 2013 was the first one she ever chose freely. In her 2018 memoir, My Love Story, she wrote about a 1985 emotional entanglement with Mick Jagger during the Live Aid rehearsals. What she survived in the Ike years, the world only fully learned about after she got out.
When Ike asked me to marry him, I knew it was for a reason. But I had to say yes, I knew, or it was going to be a fight.
She died in May 2023 at 83 at her home in Switzerland, where she had lived quietly with Erwin Bach for decades. Aretha Franklin married her manager, Ted White, in 1961.
Of course, I started very young.
Yeah, how young?
Good. Well, let's not talk about that. But I was young, and we've grown up together.
Multiple biographers have documented his physical abuse of her. She divorced him in 1969, then married actor Glynn Turman in 1978 and divorced him in 1984. Between those 2 marriages, she had a public relationship with Ken Cunningham, with whom she had a son. Long-standing rumors placed her in short relationships with musicians throughout her career. She never confirmed any of them. Her son, Ted White Jr., still plays guitar in tribute performances of her material. She died in August 2018 at 76 of pancreatic cancer. Aretha kept her diagnosis private for nearly a decade before her death. Diana Ross's relationship with Motown founder Berry Gordy was one of the most consequential affairs in black music history. He was married when they were together in the late 1960s. Their daughter Rhonda was born in 1971. She then married music executive Robert Ellis Silberstein and stayed married until 1977. Her second marriage to Norwegian shipping magnate Arne Næss Jr. lasted from 1985 to 2000. She has famously kept most of her romantic life private in the decades since. She's 82 and still performing to sold-out theaters. She has 5 children, all of whom have taken different paths through the industry. Aaliyah's secret 1994 marriage to R. Kelly, when she was 15 and he was 27, was annulled by her parents. She was later in a long-term relationship with Rockefeller co-founder Damon Dash and was reportedly engaged to him at the time of her death. She was killed in a plane crash in the Bahamas on August 25, 2001, at 22. She was a young woman navigating industry predation, not a woman making choices from a position of power. R. Kelly was federally convicted in 2021, partly on evidence relating to underage women, including material connected to the period in which he married her. Whitney Houston married Bobby Brown in July 1992. In her 2009 sit-down with Oprah Winfrey, she said Bobby had spit in her face and had once cut a message into her arm with a knife.
He supported me. He loved me. We fought hard. We loved hard. And I think at some point in time, other things began to take place.
Was he jealous of you?
He's not gonna like this, but yes.
Her long friendship with her assistant, Robin Crawford, was romantic in its earliest years.
Say it was that it was very deep and we were very connected.
Whitney was found dead in a bathtub at the Beverly Hilton in February 2012 at 48. Her daughter, Bobby Christina, died in almost identical circumstances 3 years later at 22. Bobby Brown has spent every year since being blamed in the press for both deaths, a characterization he has rejected in interviews and in his 2016 memoir. Jennifer Hudson was engaged to WWE wrestler David Otunga for over a decade. They had a son together. They split in 2017. She has been publicly dating comedian and rapper Common since 2022, and they went public on her own talk show in July 2023. The tabloid framing that she had an affair with Common while still with David does not hold up against the public timeline. She's 45. Her daytime talk show has won 2 consecutive Daytime Emmy Awards. Common has said publicly that Hudson is the only woman he's ever been in love with.
Southern trees bear stream.
Billie Holiday's relationships with men were, without exception, financially and physically exploitative. Her first husband, Jimmy Monroe, introduced her to opium. Her longtime partner, John Levy, managed her career and controlled her finances. She was harassed by the Federal Bureau of Narcotics for the last decade of her life, largely because of her refusal to stop performing Strange Fruit. She died handcuffed to a hospital bed in New York in 1959 at 44. No serious biographer has ever described her as a sex addict. What she survived was a documented, decades-long federal campaign against her.
You know, I made 35 albums, they bootlegged 70. Oh, everybody took a chunk of me.
Nina Simone married her manager, Andrew Stroud, in 1961. His physical of her and his control over her finances is documented in her posthumously published diaries and in the 2015 Netflix documentary What Happened, Miss Simone. She was diagnosed later in life with bipolar disorder that had gone untreated for decades. She spent her final years in France, largely estranged from her only daughter Lisa. She died in April 2003 at 70 at her home in the south of France. She was largely broken by then, and the industry that had used her in her prime had long since stopped calling.
This will be an everlasting love. This will be.
Natalie Cole was married 3 times. To producer Marvin Yancey, to Rufus bassist Andre Fisher, to Bishop Kenneth Dupree. Her memoirs detailed her decades-long battle with heroin and crack addictions, and how the ran directly alongside the men. She died in December 2015 at 65 of complications from a liver transplant she had needed because of the years of use. She was Nat King Cole's daughter and always said the shadow he cast was one she could never quite step out of. Her 1991 duet with her father's recorded voice on Unforgettable won her 3 Grammy Awards, including Album of the Year. Millie Jackson built her entire career on explicit stage monologues and R&B records that most black radio stations refused to play. She was married once, briefly, and has raised her children largely on her own. She said publicly that her stage persona was a business decision and that her private life is nothing like her stage life. She's 82 and still tours occasionally. Her 1977 album, Feelin', was banned from radio in multiple markets and sold gold anyway.
I wish I knew where you were coming from.
Phyllis Hyman had one of the most powerful R&B voices of her generation and was one of its most tragic figures. She lived with severe untreated bipolar disorder, chronic depression, and a long documented struggle with alcohol. Her romantic life was marked by short, painful relationships with industry men who never quite matched her stature. On June 30th, 1995, hours before she was scheduled to perform at the Apollo Theater, she took her own life in her Manhattan apartment. She was 45. The note she left said she was tired and did not want to be here anymore. Her funeral was held at a Baptist church in Philadelphia. The Apollo held her scheduled performance date open for years. Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye.